Doesn't the NFL season fly by so fast? We're up to week 8 already. It's time to make our confidence picks. Let's do it. And welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Wa2K99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch this video. So, it is time to make our picks for Week 8 of the National Football League season. Again, what we do, we pick the winners of every game. We are not looking at the spreads. We're just picking winners. And then we assign a confidence rating to every game. So this week there are 15 games, so the game we are most confident in, we will assign 15 points to that game. The game we are least confident in, we will use 1 point. And of course you can only use number one time. So let's see where we are in the overall standings on ESPN. So last week, had a pretty darn good week. We went 10-4. Unfortunately, it was only 63 points out of 105 because we got a lot of the big games wrong. There were some monumental upsets, and they got me. They got a lot of people as well. As far as the overall standings, pretty much treading water for the last 3 weeks. We remain in that 89% bracket, 89.4. So it's the slightest of upticks. I want to fly right through that 90% barrier. Haven't been there since week 2. All right, and for the overall record, we are 66-41. Not a bad winning percentage, 523 points. So let's get into the games for Week 8. Now the game, and I should mention, I'm going to show the games. I always have an overhead display with the game prediction. I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I had a request to mention who the home team is and who the road team is, so that's how we're going to do it from now on. Okay. Let's get on with it. My number 15 game is going to be the Bears at the Cowboys, and I'm picking the Dallas Cowboys to win the game. Now, the Bears impressed a lot of us on Monday when they smacked Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots in Gillette. I will never use their product, Stadium. That will go down as the highlight of the Bears season. They're coming off a short week. They're playing their 4th road game in 5 weeks. Okay, that is not an easy road to hoe. I think Tony Pollard's going to have a fantastic game, even with Zeke Elliott out, most likely. If you have Tony Pollard in fantasy, play him. Through 7 games this season, the Cowboys have allowed just 8 touchdowns. That's compared to 19 they allowed through 7 games in 2021. Give me the Cowboys. Number 14, we're going to go to a matchup that was going to be a marquee matchup as recently as a month ago. The Green Bay Packers at the Buffalo Bills. You got to take the Bills here, don't you? I mean, the Packers are sinking like that 4th bratwurst sandwich in the middle of your stomach. Those of you who have been in Wisconsin and eaten some of the sausages down there, you know what I mean. I'd like to think Green Bay can give Buffalo a battle and make next week an AFC East showdown for first place. But the Packers are on a 3-game losing streak against 3 teams that were not considered marquee in the Giants, Jets, and Washington. They're not about to beat the Bills on the road. This losing streak becomes 4 for them. My number 13 game, we're going to go to Detroit. It is Miami Dolphins against the Detroit Lions. Not a lot to say here. I think the Dolphins are going to be absolutely explosive against the worst defense in football, which allows 32 points per game. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle dominate. I think this is a double-digit blowout. I'm thinking something like 33-17, something like that. Number 12, it's going to be the Battle of Pennsylvania, the Steelers versus the Eagles in Philadelphia. Give me the Eagles to stay unbeaten. Now, the Eagles are coming off their bye week, which may not be the best thing to interrupt the mojo that they had going. But the Steelers are playing their 2nd straight road game. They've scored only 15 points per game. That's 2nd worst only to the Denver Broncos. And Philadelphia, how's this for a stat for Philly? They have rushed the ball 225 times this season. That's the 3rd most in the league. They have yet to lose a fumble. Pretty impressive team. Give me the Eagles to hold on to first place in the NFC East. Number 11 game, we're going to go to the AFC South. We're going to go with the Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans. Give me Tennessee on this one. They look poised to run away with the AFC South yet again. Now, one of the things I like about the Titans is they win close games. They've won 4 straight games by a total of 22 points. The only concern I would have in this game is after beating Indianapolis if they have a letdown. I don't think so. I like Coach Mike Vrabel a lot. And Derrick Henry against a run defense that's allowing 164 yards per game, I'll take Tennessee. My number 10 game, I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons. Give me the Falcons in that game. Now, this game is only going to be a big game because that division stinks, okay? The combined record of all NFC South teams is 10-18. It is sad. And you know what? The Panthers, maybe I'm just a little annoyed with the Panthers because they killed pretty much every survivor pool in America after last week. I don't see this offense doing a ton against Atlanta. Plus, I'm just a big Arthur Smith fan. I got a lot of respect for him. I hope he gets a lot of attention in Coach of the Year. And Atlanta, if you can believe this, Atlanta has the 3rd-ranked rushing attack in the NFL. And who are they doing this with? There's no Derrick Henrys or Jonathan Taylors or Breece Halls on this team. No, they're doing it with a converted wide receiver in Cordell Patterson, a 5th-round pick in Tyler Algier, a player who started the season on the practice squad in Caleb Huntley, and a converted cornerback in Avery Williams. Give me Atlanta. My number 9 game, we're going to go to the New York Giants at the Seattle Seahawks. I take the Giants for the 2nd straight week. Who would have thought? Who would have thought at this point in the season there would be 5 NFC teams over 500 and the Giants and Seahawks would be 2 of those teams? Nobody would have thought that. Both of these teams have bad run defenses, but I like the Giants' defense ability to contain Kenneth Walker more than I like the Seahawks to contain Saquon Barkley. The Seahawks are allowing the 3rd most rushing yards per game of any team. The only thing that concerns me really is the Giants' banged-up offensive line. Oh, and let's not forget, DK Metcalf not expected to play. I'll say the Giants' defense turns over Geno Smith a couple times, and Graham Gano makes some field goals, and Giants win another nail-biter. Number 8. Okay, now we're going to go to Ohio. We got a lot of interstate games going on this week. Yeah, it's like 3 of them, I think. Yeah, at least 2, maybe 3. Yeah, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 interstate games. Okay. We're going to take the Cincinnati Bengals to win in Cleveland. Let's talk the Cincinnati defense first, because I don't think the defense gets a lot of respect. The Bengals are yet to surrender a second-half touchdown this season. You know the last team that did that through 7 weeks of the season? The 1997 Kansas City Chiefs. Pretty impressive. 25 years it has been since the defense did that. Even without Jamar Chase, I still love the Bengals offense between Mixon and, I'll tell you, Tyler Boyd is really getting on a roll. I am really liking what I see from Tyler Boyd. It'll take a great defense to stop them. Cleveland does not have it. The Browns have lost 4 straight, and I don't see it changing even at home. Number 7, let's go to the Thursday night game, Baltimore at Tampa Bay. I'm going to take the Buccaneers. This was a little bit tougher to call. The Buccaneers scoring production is really falling off. Through the first 7 weeks last year, they were averaging 31.4 points per game. This year, half that, 16.7, just over 16.7. But what I like about Baltimore, they have been outscored by 46 points in the 4th quarter. 46. I know the Bucs have dropped 2 straight. Both of these secondaries are banged up. I just like the Bucs skill position players over the Ravens, especially if Mark Andrews is he's supposed to play, but he's definitely not at 100% from what we're hearing. All right, that's number 7. Number 6, NFC game over here. We're going to look at the Arizona Cardinals at the Minnesota Vikings. I think it stays close, but I'm going to go with Minnesota. DeAndre Hopkins is paramount to the success of Kyler Murray. I don't really like their offense without him, but I like the Minnesota defense to get a good pass rush on Murray. Minnesota's coming off a bye week. Arizona's defense has quietly been good. I just don't think they have enough to stop the Minnesota offense in US Bank Stadium. All right, let's go to number 5. This is just one of those, if I have to pick it, I'll pick it games. The Vegas Raiders at the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to take the Raiders on this game. I don't love either team, really. The Saints do have some extra rest, but they are, get this, minus 10 in turnover margin this year. And Andy Dalton, who threw 2 pick sixes last week, is still starting. And Josh Jacobs has looking really, really good. I feel like Josh Jacobs is one of those running backs who doesn't get a lot of love, but he's just very quietly productive, very consistent. He's like the Brandon Cooks of running backs, you know? He's rushed for 441 yards and 6 touchdowns. That's just in the last 3 games. 6.4 yards per carry. Give me the Raiders in that one. Number 4, we're going to travel across the pond. It is the Denver Broncos versus the Jacksonville Jaguars, 2 AFC teams desperately needing a victory. Denver has scored 17 points or more just one lousy time this year. There are actually, I love this stat, there are 2 players in the NFL who have scored as many touchdowns by themselves as the entire Broncos team. Nick Chubb and Austin Eckler. That is flooring. Jacksonville, to me, is the more balanced team. They have the better head coach by a wide margin, and I think their pass rush gets back on track against the lousy Denver offensive line. Number 3, the Battle of California. This is our 3rd interstate game today. I'm going to go against the grain here. It's 49ers at Rams. I'm going to take the Rams to surprise a lot of people in this one. I like that the Rams have had 2 weeks to get ready for this game, number 1. The biggest question I have is, can their offensive line step up against the San Francisco defense? Another thing about San Francisco that does worry me, they have 12 giveaways. That's the 4th most in the NFL. I just got a feeling the Rams have like one big effort. Not saying they're going to come back and win the division, but I think this is their statement game. I say they beat San Francisco. Number 2, we got the marquee quarterback match of the week right here. We've got Taylor Heineke and the Washington football team against Sam Ehlinger and the Indianapolis Colts. Heineke, they earn it. What is it? What is it? Meineke, they earn it? Was that the old George Foreman slogan for the car? Heineke, they earned it. Okay. I like the Washington defense more than I do the Colts. That's the only reason I'm taking them. And you know what game I haven't used yet? I have not made a call on this game because I am struggling with it. My number 1 game that I have the least confidence in is the New England Patriots at the New York Jets this Sunday at MetLife Stadium. I think it's going to be ugly. I think it's going to be gritty. I think it's going to be very hard-hitting. I expect a few cheap shots along the way. My biggest fear with the Jets is I got to see this offensive line be good without Elijah Vera Tucker. And right now, I just don't think that it is. And you can tell me that the New England defense got carved up by Justin Fields. Look, the 2 weeks before that, they shut down Detroit, which was the highest scoring offense in the NFL. And the week after that, they shut down Cleveland, who had the best rushing attack in the NFL. I just think that the New England Patriot defense makes a statement in this game. I do think the Jets defense will play very well. I expect this to be very back and forth. So then to me, it comes down to coaching. And the Jets, with all the penalties that they've been taking, I just worry they're going to take one bad penalty, whether earned or not, that is going to kill them. And I don't think Zach Wilson's going to have the game that we're hoping that he could have. I think it's going to be a field goal either way. If these 2 teams play 10 times, they might split it 50-50, but I'm just taking the Patriots in this game as much as it hurts. All right, those are my picks. Let me know if you have any hot takes, if you agree with any of my picks, you disagree with any of my picks. Do you have any notes on any of the games that maybe I didn't mention? But I thank you very much for watching. Please like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and share it with a friend. And I will see you back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair.